Hey there everyone. So we are back with another video of PHP. In this video we will be learning about the CRUD operations. According to me, the CRUD operations are very important whenever you are learning any kind of language. You should always be aware of CRUD operations. That means you should be able to connect to database with that language. So CRUD, what is basically a CRUD operation? The CRUD is a very short form in which C refers to create, R refers to read, U refers to update, and D refers to delete. So this is called CRUD operation, and in this video we will be seeing how to create the data, or we can say insert the data into the table using our PHP program. So let's start it. Firstly, we will see how to connect to database. We can have two methods to connect to MySQL. One is called MySQLi and another is called PDO. MySQLi is an improved version of MySQL function, whereas PDO refers to the PHP data object. So what is the basic difference? MySQLi is basically used for only MySQL. That means you can connect to only one kind of database, that is a MySQL database, whereas PDO works with 12 different database systems. Isn't it good? So we can use 12 different database systems with PDO and we can connect to them by simply changing the queries. Whereas if you are using MySQLi, then you have to change the entire code including the queries if you are changing your database. So it's very important that you select which kind of method you will be using for your database. So for this video, I'll keep it very simple and I'll be using the MySQL method to connect to the database using an object-oriented approach. So let's see how to code. So here I am having a form that is called user registration form. I have created it using a simple bootstrap, as you already know the bootstrap. If not, then wait for the video on web designing. So I have created different methods, divisions, and I have written it in the column LG6. That means I have used the grid system of Bootstrap and I have created first name, last name, email, as well as username, password, and a register button. So as you can see, this form is already created. If you want, I'll provide you the code in the description below. So this is the code, and now we will go to the database. Inside it, I'm using the test database, and inside test database, I will be creating a table called user. So how many columns it wants is first name, last name, email, username, and password. So I'll be needing 5 columns. So I'll click on 5 and then simply click the go button. So it's very easy to create the table when you are using PHP MyAdmin. You can use another tools also for MySQL, like you can use MySQL Workbench or you can use the CLI command line interface. So it's all up to you. So I'll be writing ID of the user, and the ID of the user will be auto increment. So we will take the data type as integer and the length say 10, and I will just click on this a_I, which refers to auto increment. So I click on go. It's saying that it will be taken as a primary key, and that's what I want. So just keep it as primary key, and then the next column will be F name for first name, and for last name I'll keep it as L name. Let's change the data type, that is varchar. So the length I'll be keeping it as 20, and that's it. It should not be null. And then I'll write email. Email will also be a varchar, and I'll keep the length as 30 here, or you can say 40. And then we can have username. Username will also be a varchar data type. So just keep it as 20. And then you will have one more column that is called password. So I need to add that more column. First I'll save this query. So it will take some time to save. Yes, it has been saved. Now if I go to the structure again and I want to change the structure of this user table, because I need one more column here, So I have to go to the structure, and then we will click on this add column. I'll just say go. So it will add one more column here, and I'll write password. Then the data type will be varchar, and that's it. The length you have to write. So let's say the length is 20 and just save it. So if I check my table, now I'm having these 6 columns, that is ID, first name, last name, email, username and password. So these details will be entered in the form, and when user clicks on register, we should get the details here in the table. So let's see how to connect it. So we will be writing in the action. In the form, you have to mention the action. Let's say the action will be, let's create a new page, and that new page name will be, let's say it will be insert. Oops. So I'll just save it, Control S, and then I'll be writing the name of the file. So I'll write insert data.php all files, and then we'll click on save. So I'll just say that I want to insert this data, so I'll write the file name here in action, insert data.php, and the method will be post. After taking method as post, let's go to insert data.php and we will start writing the code for inserting the data. So I'll just write the PHP tags, and after that I need to provide the data, like I need to provide the username, password for my database, all the information of the database. So what I will be doing is, the best approach to do that is you create a separate file for it. I'll tell you why. Let's say we will write dbconnect.php. Now I will be writing all the details of the database and the connection object in this file, so that I don't need to write that connection code in every file. Suppose I want to update the data, I want to display it on some web page. So every time whenever I'm dealing with database, I need to write the connection code. So every time in every file, I cannot write that connection code. So this is a very easy method that you can just simply create a separate file and you write the code here, and then you can include this file in any file you want in your project. So first of all, you have to give the server name. So in my case, my server name is localhost, and then you have to provide the username. And the username in my case, most of the case is root only. So I'll be using username as root, and then we will write password, and we do not have any password here, so I will not be writing the password. And after that, the password is null, so you do not write anything. And after that, we will create a connection object. Let's say $con. It is a general, you can say, convention to follow this and to write the connection object like this, $con. You can write any other name which suits you. So we will be using object oriented approach. So I'll be writing the new keyword to create the object. Now I will be using the MySQL I driver, in which I refers to the improved version, and then we will provide server name, username, and then we'll provide the password. Similarly, we will also provide the database name. Let's say the DB name equals to, our DB name is test, as we have already seen. So I'll be using the test database, and inside it I will pass this one more variable called as DB name. So this is the connection object that we have created, and it's giving error because I have not put semicolon here. And this is how the connection object of the database has been created, and this $con object refers to my test database. So let's come to insert data.php file. Inside it, we will be including the dbconnect file. to create the database connection. So I'll simply include, and then you can write the file name, that is dbconnect.php. And after that, we will be writing the code to fetch the values from the form. First, I'll be fetching the values from the form. So to fetch the values from the form, you have to use if is set, because when you click on the register button, then only your PHP code should be running. So I'll be writing it inside my if is set. Inside is set, I'll be using $_post because I have used a method known as post method. So inside it, let's see what is the button name. Make sure you write the button name correctly, whatever you have given here in the name attribute. So I'll be providing that register, and after that, just put the semi parenthesis and just copy paste this code here. And this is how we'll include the file. And now we will fetch the data from the form. So to fetch the data, let's say I want to fetch fname, that is a first name. So I'll fetch it through $post, and then you will be writing the name, that is fname. Let's check it here also that you have given the same name, otherwise you will get errors. So let me check. Yes, I have L name and F name in the name attribute. So now after fetching the F name, just copy paste this. Copy paste and fetch the values of email and L name and your username as well as your password. So I'll be writing here password. After that, here you need to change the variable name. Let's say this is L name, then say it is email, and similarly username. After that, you can write password. So this is all variables which we have fetched from the form. If you need to check it, you can just simply write fname and you can check whether this method is working or not when we are clicking on the register button. So let's test it now. Refresh this page. Make sure your XAMPP server is on. And after this, I'll put the name as say Harsh. And let's click on submit. So I'm getting this name as Harsh. That means this code is working very correct. After this, I'll be writing some query to insert the values into the table. So it's very simple. You will create a variable called $query, or you can simply write a variable like q equals to, then you will write the query. The query will be insert into table, then you will be writing the table name. The table name is insert into user, and you will be writing the column names because we have set this column ID as auto increment. So I'll not be taking ID from the user. So I'll be writing fname. Just copy paste the column names. Otherwise, if there is a spelling mistake, then you already know where is the trap. So next is L name. After that, we have email. Then we have username. And then we have password. I will not take any risk, that's why I'm copy pasting it. So after that, after giving this columns, you can always write values, and inside values you will be providing the values which you are getting from the form. So for the string value, you will always write it in single quotes. So I'll be writing the value inside the single quotes. So you have to write here $fname, then comma, again you have to use single quotes, or you can say $fname, Then you will be writing $L name. Then you will be giving $email, and then you will provide username, $username, and then at the last, because all are strings, so I'll be writing it in single quotes, and I'm writing password. So this is the query. Insert into table, then the column name, and then the values. To run this query, we have to use a method known as query method. So for the query method, we will be using the connection object, and now we can use the connection object because we have included this file db connect. So I'll be writing $con, and then you will be writing query method. Inside this query method, you will be providing the variable that is the query, that is $q. And that's it. This will execute the query and it will insert the data. I'll also write an if else. If this query executes fine, then it will give me some echo statement. Let's say values inserted successfully. And else, if value is not inserted, it will say error in inserting values. And after that, I'll also provide one variable called $con and then error. This error variable will actually store the error if there is any problem in inserting the data into the table. Then it will be giving me the complete detailed descripted format of the error with the help of this error property. So that's it. Let's test our code by going to the browser, and let's test. Just refresh this page. Now I will be writing the name, let's say Neha, and the last name will be say Sharma. After that, I'll write the email, let's say neha@gmail.com. Username I will be writing as neha123, and then in the password I'll be writing something 1 2 3 4 5. Then I'll click on register, and it's giving me error. You have an error, that means it is saying there is an error near this F name, L name, email. So it is giving me the error in the query. As you can see, the values, it is inserting Neha and SHAR, but after that it is giving me error because I have written quotes in this column names. That is a problem. So as this is not a string, these are column names, I was not supposed to add the quotes here. So let's remove it, save this program, and let's again go to our form, and the values are already filled. Let's say the password is, okay, I don't know what I have entered. So let's try it again and click on the register, and it says values inserted successfully. Let's check our table, and there are the values which is stored inside the table. So this is how we can insert the values using the forms inside the table in PHP. So if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press that bell icon to get the latest notifications. See you in the next video.